Anna wiped the last bit of dust from the small table at the corner of the cafe. The rain outside fell steadily, making the streets shiny and slippery. She looked outside through the foggy window, watching people rush by with umbrellas, carrying heavy bags or huddling close to loved ones. Life had always been hard for Anna. Her family was gone, and she lived alone in a tiny, old house near the river. Every day, she worked long hours in the little cafe to earn enough money for food and rent. Despite her struggles, Anna always wore a gentle smile. Customers liked her kindness, though most of them never knew her story. She believed that kindness was stronger than sadness, even when the world seemed cruel. Today, like every other day, she served tea and bread, cleaning the tables quickly to keep the cafe tidy. The bell above the cafe door rang loudly, cutting through the sound of the rain. Anna looked up and saw a black car parked outside. A man stepped out carefully, holding his coat tightly. He was tall, with neatly combed hair and a suit that looked very expensive. His face looked tired, almost sad, and Anna noticed a wheelchair waiting beside him. The man was Robert, a millionaire known for his wealth and power. But his fame had not brought him happiness. 2 years ago, he had met with a terrible accident. He could not walk anymore. Every day, he spent hours in his wheelchair, drinking expensive health drinks and taking strong medicines, hoping that something could bring him back to life as it was before. But no medicine had helped. His body remained weak, and his heart carried a deep sadness that no one could heal. Anna quickly prepared a small table by the window for Robert. She brought a cup of tea, steaming and warm, and a plate with simple bread. When she placed it in front of him, she noticed something unusual. Along with the tea, Robert had a strange, bitter-looking drink in a large glass. It smelled strong, almost chemical-like. Anna felt a small pang in her heart. She knew that sometimes rich people believed that money could fix anything, even health. But she also knew that nature and care could help more than expensive medicines. She leaned slightly and spoke softly, almost like a whisper, "Sir, maybe you should stop drinking that drink. I think it's hurting you more than helping." Robert blinked. No one had ever spoken to him like this before. Most people only saw his money and power. No one ever dared to tell him what they thought. "And why would a poor girl know what's good for me?" he asked, a little surprised and amused at the same time. Anna held his gaze. Her eyes were honest and calm. "Because I believe your body can heal if you let it," she said. "You have hope inside you. Money can buy many things, but it cannot give hope. Only you can choose to heal." Robert felt a strange feeling inside. No one had ever said words like that to him. No one had ever looked at him without pity or fear. He studied her simple clothes, the way her hands moved carefully, and the sincerity in her face. Somehow, he felt a little lighter, as if a small sun had risen in the dark corners of his heart. "Interesting," he said finally, a small smile forming on his lips. "I have all the doctors, all the medicines, but you, a girl I have never met, are telling me to stop my routine. Why?" Anna took a deep breath. "Because I believe you are stronger than you think. You have lived for yourself, for your family, for everything you loved. Even if your body is weak now, your will is stronger than any drink or medicine. If you trust yourself, if you try with patience, you can heal." Robert remained quiet for a long time. He looked outside at the rain, at the people rushing through puddles, at the small cafe that smelled of bread and tea. He had always believed that money could solve everything. But he realized something: money had never given him the courage to face his own heart. Anna's words were simple, but they touched something deep inside him. "Maybe I should listen to you," he said quietly. "But how can a poor girl like you know about hope?" Anna smiled gently. "I do not have money, sir, but I have lived through hard times. I know what it is to lose everything. And I know that even when the world is dark, Small choices can bring light. Robert nodded slowly. He did not know what would happen next, but for the first time in 2 years, he felt a small spark of something he had forgotten: hope. He placed the strange drink aside and reached for his tea. The warmth of the simple beverage felt different today, almost like a tiny comfort he had not felt in a long time. Anna poured herself a cup of tea as well and sat across him. They did not speak much, but there was a quiet understanding between them. The rain continued outside, but inside the cafe, a small moment of change had begun, a moment that neither of them fully understood, yet both felt deeply. That day, a poor girl and a paralyzed millionaire met in a small cafe. Neither knew that this meeting would change both of their lives forever. And somewhere deep inside Robert, hope began to grow like a fragile, unstoppable flower. After that rainy afternoon at the cafe, Anna could not stop thinking about Robert. She wondered if her words had really made any difference. She had spoken from her heart, but she was only a poor girl with no special knowledge about healing. Yet, somehow, she felt a connection with the millionaire who had lived in a world of wealth and silence. Robert, on the other hand, could not stop thinking about Anna. Her words had stirred something in him he had not felt in years: hope. For the first time since his accident, he wondered if maybe, just maybe, he could try to change. He spent 2 years surrounded by doctors, pills, and expensive drinks, yet he had felt only sadness. But Anna's simple words felt different. They felt real. The next morning, Robert made a decision. He called his assistant, Mark, and asked for the address of the little cafe by the river. He wanted to see Anna again. The rain had stopped, but the streets were still wet and shiny. Robert's wheelchair moved slowly, his hands gripping the wheels with effort. Normally, he would not have bothered, but today, there was a quiet determination inside him. When Anna saw him enter the cafe again, she was surprised. "Sir, you are here so early," she said, her voice full of warmth. She quickly prepared a table near the window and placed a cup of tea in front of him. "I wanted to see you again," Robert said softly. He did not know why he felt nervous. He had met many people in his life, but none had ever touched him like Anna. "I thought, maybe you can help me." Anna's heart warmed. She smiled gently. "I can try, sir. But the first step must come from you. You need to want to heal." Robert nodded slowly. He looked at the tea in front of him and then at the strange drink he had used for so long. Without thinking much, he pushed the drink away. "I will try your way," he said quietly. "No more of that drink." Anna felt a small joy inside. "Good," she said. "Healing is not about medicines only. It is about hope, patience, and believing in yourself. Your mind and heart are stronger than you think." From that day, Robert's routine began to change. Anna came to the cafe every morning, and sometimes she visited his home to help him with simple exercises. She encouraged him to try small movements, starting with his fingers, then his arms, and slowly his legs. Every time Robert felt pain or frustration, Anna was there with a kind word or a gentle smile. At first, Robert struggled. He had been paralyzed for 2 years, and his body had grown weak. He wanted to give up many times. But Anna never let him. "Do not rush," she said. "Every small step counts. Even the tiniest movement is a victory." Slowly, Robert began to feel changes. His muscles grew stronger, his fingers moved more easily, and a strange energy filled him. He started to believe in himself again, something he had not done in years. The mansion he had lived in felt less lonely because Anna brought warmth and kindness into his life. One afternoon, Robert looked at Anna and said softly, "I do not know why, but I feel alive again. 2 years of sadness, and now I feel hope. All because of you." Anna blushed slightly, looking down at the table. "It is not just me, sir. It is you. You are the one who chose to try. I only showed you the way. Robert smiled, a small but genuine smile. For the first time in a long time, he laughed, a sound that seemed to brighten the room. Anna felt a deep satisfaction seeing this change. She had no idea that a simple act of honesty and care could bring such transformation. Days turned into weeks, and Robert's progress became visible. He started sitting up straighter in his wheelchair, lifting small weights, and even trying to stand with support. Anna cheered for every small victory, celebrating with simple tea and bread as if each step were a festival. The townspeople noticed the change in Robert as well. The cold, distant millionaire they had once feared now smiled more, spoke more kindly, and even helped the cafe by paying for supplies he knew Anna needed. But he never showed off his wealth. Instead, he used it quietly, inspired by Anna's simple life of kindness. One evening, as the sun set behind the river, Robert turned to Anna. "I feel something I forgot," he said softly. "Happiness. Real happiness. And it is not because of money or luxury. It is because of someone who believed in me, even when I had lost faith in myself." Anna smiled warmly. "That is why I came here, sir. Everyone deserves someone who believes in them, even when the world has forgotten them. And you deserved hope, even if you did not know it." Robert looked out at the sunset, feeling the warmth on his face. For the first time in years, he felt at peace. A poor girl had shown him that life was not about money or medicine, it was about belief, hope, and courage. And slowly, step by step, he was learning to stand again, not just physically, but in his heart. Little did they know, this was only the beginning. The bond between Anna and Robert would grow stronger, and together, they would face challenges that neither of them could imagine. But one truth remained clear: hope could arrive in the most unexpected places, even from a poor girl in a small cafe to a millionaire who had lost everything. Weeks had passed since Robert had begun his journey of healing. Each day, he grew a little stronger, a little more hopeful. The mansion he lived in no longer felt empty. Anna had become a frequent visitor, and her presence brought a warmth that no amount of luxury could provide. One morning, Robert decided to try something new. He wanted to take a short walk in the garden outside his mansion. He had never imagined this day would come. The garden was large, filled with flowers, tall trees, and a small fountain that reflected the sunlight. Usually, it had been a place of loneliness for him, but now it seemed full of life and possibilities. Anna helped him step carefully into the garden. "Take it slow, sir," she said, holding his arm gently. "No rush. Every small step is important." Robert nodded, his hands gripping the railing of the path. He took one step. Then another. His legs trembled, but he did not give up. Anna walked beside him, encouraging him softly. "You are doing well. I knew you could do it." Robert smiled, a small but genuine smile. It had been a long time since he had felt this way. His eyes sparkled with a light that had been missing for years. For Anna, seeing that smile was like seeing a flower bloom after a long winter. It was a moment of victory, not just for Robert, but for both of them. After a few minutes, Robert stopped to catch his breath. I never thought I would walk again," he said softly, looking at the flowers. "I always believed my life would be spent in this chair, waiting for something that would never come." Anna shook her head gently. "Life is full of surprises, sir. Sometimes hope comes from places we do not expect. You just needed to believe in yourself again." Robert looked at her, his eyes filled with gratitude. "You believed in me, when no one else did. Even when I had lost hope, your words made me try. I cannot thank you enough." Anna smiled shyly. "I only reminded you of something you already had inside you. You found your own strength. I only helped you see it." That afternoon, They spent hours in the garden. Robert practiced small steps, leaning on Anna and the railing. He laughed when he stumbled slightly and sighed with relief when he managed to take several steps without support. Each movement was slow, but each movement was real progress. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with orange and pink hues, Robert sat on a small bench in the garden. Anna handed him a glass of water. He looked at her with a quiet admiration. "You know, Anna, I have everything a person could dream of: money, power, comfort. But none of it mattered until I felt hope again. You gave me something richer than all my wealth. You gave me life." Anna felt her eyes grow wet, but she smiled warmly. "Sir, seeing you try, seeing you fight, that is all the thanks I need. Your courage is enough for me." In the weeks that followed, Robert's progress became more noticeable. His arms grew stronger, his legs moved with more confidence, and his determination deepened. But it was not just his body that was healing. His heart, which had been heavy with sadness, now felt lighter. He laughed more, spoke more kindly to his staff, and even visited the town to help the poor quietly. One day, as they sat together in the garden, Anna noticed something unusual. Robert was staring at her, his eyes soft but intense. "Anna, can I ask you something?" he said. "Of course, sir," she replied gently. Why did you care about me? You are poor, and I am rich. I have nothing to offer you except wealth, and yet, you helped me without asking for anything." Anna paused, looking at him carefully. "Because, sir, everyone deserves someone to believe in them. Even when the world forgets you, even when you are alone, someone should remind you that you can fight, that you can heal. You deserve that someone, and I wanted to be that person." Robert remained silent for a moment, feeling something he had never felt before. Gratitude, yes, but also admiration, respect, and something deeper. He realized that Anna's kindness was rare, a light in a world filled with darkness. She had come into his life like a gentle river, soft but unstoppable, and she had slowly healed parts of him that no medicine ever could. That evening, Robert's first real smile of true happiness appeared. It was not just the small smiles he had shown before, it was a smile that came from deep within his heart. He laughed softly, feeling lighter than he had in years. Anna noticed it and felt her heart swell with quiet joy. She had not only helped a paralyzed millionaire walk again, she had helped him smile when he thought he never could. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Robert leaned back on the bench. "Anna, you have changed my life in ways I cannot explain. I was broken, lost, and hopeless. But now, I feel alive again. All because of you." Anna looked at him with a soft, gentle smile. "And you did it yourself, sir. I only helped you see what you already had. You found your hope. You found your strength. And now, you will keep moving forward." That night, Robert went to bed feeling something he had not felt in years: peace. For the first time, he believed that he could live again, not as a man trapped in his chair, but as a man full of hope, courage, and life. And somewhere in his heart, he knew that Anna had become more than just a helper, she had become a beacon of light in his world. Little did they know, their journey together had only just begun. The days ahead would bring challenges, surprises, and moments that would test both their courage and their hearts. But for now, Robert had taken his first real steps, not just in the garden, but toward a life full of hope and happiness. Life had begun to feel brighter for Robert. Each morning, he looked forward to seeing Anna, to practicing his small steps in the garden, and to tasting the warmth of a simple meal. But as much as he had healed in body, he still carried fear in his heart: the fear of falling, the fear of failing, and the fear that everything could disappear in an instant. Anna noticed it one morning as she helped him stretch his legs. Robert hesitated before stepping onto the garden path, gripping the railing tightly. His face was tense. What is wrong, sir? Anna asked softly, placing a hand gently on his arm. Robert shook his head. I do not know if I can do it today. My legs feel weak, and I am afraid I will fall. Anna smiled gently. Sir, fear is normal. But courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward, even when you are afraid. And I know you can do it. Robert took a deep breath. He remembered the first time he had stepped into the garden, how Anna had believed in him even when he had not believed in himself. Slowly, he placed one foot in front of the other. Anna walked beside him, supporting him quietly, her presence calm and steady. The first few steps were difficult. His legs trembled, his muscles ached, and his mind screamed that he should stop. But he did not. Anna's quiet encouragement and his own determination pushed him forward. Step by step, he moved across the path. Suddenly, a small stone on the path caused him to stumble. He froze, fear rushing through his chest. Anna caught his arm immediately. It is okay, sir, she said softly. You are safe. A stumble does not mean failure. Keep going. Robert nodded, grateful for her support. He took another deep breath and continued, this time with more confidence. His legs still shook, but he realized that fear could not stop him if he focused on each step. Slowly, carefully, he made it to the other side of the garden. Sitting on a bench, Robert looked at Anna and smiled. I did it. I really did it, he said, his voice filled with wonder. I never imagined I could walk this far. Anna smiled warmly. You did it because you believed in yourself, sir. I only reminded you that you could. Every step you take is a victory, and every victory brings you closer to your true strength. But life was not going to make it easy. That evening, Robert received news that shook him. His business partner, someone he had trusted for years, had made a series of risky decisions. The company had lost a significant amount of money, and Robert would need to make difficult decisions to save it. He felt panic rising inside him. For years, he had relied on his business as a source of security, but now even that seemed uncertain. For the first time in his journey of healing, Robert felt powerless. Seeing his distress, Anna sat beside him. Sir, I know this is difficult. But you have faced challenges before, and you have overcome them. You are stronger than you think. Robert looked at her, feeling both fear and hope. I do not know if I am ready for this. My body is healing, but what if my mind fails me? Anna placed a hand over his. Your mind is strong because your heart is strong. You have already proven that you can rise after falling. This is another challenge, but you will not face it alone. I will be here, and we will take it one step at a time. The next few days were hard. Robert worked long hours, making decisions about the company while continuing his healing exercises. There were moments of doubt, moments when he felt exhausted and wanted to give up. But each time, Anna's presence reminded him of his strength. She brought meals, encouraged him to rest when needed, and reminded him that progress, whether in walking or in life, came from patience and persistence. One afternoon, as Robert walked carefully through his office with Anna beside him, he realized something. He was not just healing in his body, he was healing in his mind and heart too. The fear that had haunted him for years was slowly losing its power. He felt confident, not because he had money or power, but because he had learned to trust himself and accept help when needed. That evening, as they sat together in the garden, Robert spoke softly. Anna, I think I understand something now. Healing is not just about the body. It is about facing fears, believing in yourself, and having someone who truly cares. Anna smiled gently. Yes, sir. Healing is about hope, courage, and love. And you have all three inside you. Robert looked at her, feeling a warmth in his heart. I am grateful to you, Anna. You have changed my life more than anyone ever could. You have given me hope when I thought I had none. Anna shook her head softly. It is you who chose to fight, sir. I only helped you see your own strength. And you will continue to grow stronger, step by step, day by day. As the stars appeared in the night sky, Robert felt a deep sense of peace. The challenge he had faced that week had tested him, but it had also reminded him of his inner strength. With Anna by his side, he knew that no matter what life threw at him, he could face it. The road ahead was still long, but for the first time in years, Robert felt ready. Ready to walk, ready to heal, and ready to embrace the life he had once thought lost forever. And somewhere in his heart, he knew that the bond he shared with Anna was more than just friendship, it was a light guiding him through the darkest times. The sun rose slowly over the town, casting golden light across the garden of Robert's mansion. Birds chirped softly, and the flowers swayed gently in the morning breeze. For Robert, mornings had become a symbol of hope. Each day brought him closer to a life he had once believed was impossible. Anna arrived early as usual, carrying a small basket with tea and fresh bread. "Good morning, sir," she said cheerfully, setting the basket on the table. "Are you ready for today's practice?" Robert smiled, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. "I think I am," he said softly. His legs had grown stronger in the past weeks, but the thought of walking farther than before made him anxious. Anna nodded encouragingly. "You have come so far. Today, we will try something new. Just trust yourself, and take it one step at a time." They walked slowly into the garden. Robert gripped the railing tightly at first, his legs trembling as he took a few steps. Anna stayed close, offering support and encouragement. Step by step, he moved along the path. Each movement felt like a victory, each breath a reminder that he was alive, capable, and strong. As he reached the middle of the path, Robert paused. "Anna. I never imagined I could feel this way again. Free, even for a moment. It is more than I ever hoped for." Anna smiled warmly. "It is your courage, sir. I only help you see it. Every step you take is proof that you are stronger than you know." Robert looked around the garden, noticing the sunlight sparkling on the fountain, the colors of the flowers, and the gentle sway of the trees. For the first time in years, he felt fully present. The mansion, the money, the titles, none of it mattered anymore. What mattered was life itself, and the simple joy of moving forward. Encouraged, Robert decided to try walking without holding the railing for a few steps. Anna stayed close, ready to support him if needed. He lifted one foot carefully, then the other. His legs shook, but he did not give up. With a deep breath, he took 3 small steps without support. Anna clapped softly, her eyes shining with pride. "You did it. You are walking without support," she said, her voice full of joy. Robert felt a surge of happiness. Tears welled up in his eyes, not from pain, but from the overwhelming sense of accomplishment. He had believed for so long that he was trapped, helpless, and powerless. But now, he realized that his strength had never left him. It had been waiting, hidden beneath fear and doubt, until he found the courage to try. Over the next few days, Robert practiced walking longer distances. Each morning, he felt stronger, more confident, and more determined. Anna was always there, celebrating every small victory, encouraging him to push a little further each day. Slowly, he began to walk without leaning on anyone or anything for support. The mansion, once a place of loneliness, became a space of freedom, life, and hope. One afternoon, after a particularly long practice session, Robert sat on a bench, breathing heavily but smiling. Anna handed him a glass of water. "Sir, you have come so far. I am proud of you," she said softly. Robert looked at her, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Anna. I owe everything to you. Without you, I would still be trapped in my own despair. You showed me the way, even when I had lost all hope. Anna shook her head gently. Sir, it is not about owing me. You did all the hard work. I only guided you. The courage, the determination, the belief, it all came from you. Robert nodded, feeling the truth of her words. Still, I feel something I never felt before. Happiness, freedom, and peace. And it is because of you, Anna. You have given me a gift more valuable than anything money could buy. Anna smiled, her heart warm. Seeing you walk, seeing you happy, is the best gift I could ask for. That evening, Robert decided to take a bold step. He asked Anna to help him to the edge of the garden, near the gate that led to the street. He wanted to take his first steps outside the mansion in 2 years. His heart pounded with both fear and excitement. Anna held his arm gently. Are you sure, sir? She asked. Robert nodded firmly. Yes. I want to try. I want to feel the world again. Step by step, he moved toward the gate. The fresh air, the sunlight, and the gentle breeze filled him with energy. He felt alive in a way he had not for years. His legs were strong enough to carry him, and his heart was full of hope. When he finally crossed the threshold and stepped onto the path outside, he laughed softly. The town's streets looked different now, not as distant or intimidating. He had conquered more than just his paralysis, he had conquered fear, doubt, and despair. Anna stood beside him, smiling proudly. You did it, sir. You are free. Robert looked at her, tears in his eyes. No. Anna. We did it together. You were with me every step of the way. I could not have done it without you. That night, Robert went to bed feeling a deep sense of gratitude. The mansion was no longer a prison, and his heart was no longer heavy with sadness. He had taken his first true steps toward freedom, with Anna's guidance, love, and belief in him. And somewhere deep in his heart, Robert knew that this was only the beginning. A new chapter of life awaited him, full of possibilities, hope, and happiness. The days passed quietly in Robert's mansion, but each day was filled with progress. Robert's legs grew stronger, his confidence deeper, and his hope brighter. Yet, beneath the calm, a part of him still feared the world outside the mansion, the world that had once seemed so distant and unreachable. Anna noticed it one morning as she helped him walk along the garden path. Robert's steps were steady, but his eyes lingered on the distant streets beyond the gate. Sir, you have come so far, she said softly. Do you want to try going to town today? Robert hesitated, his hand gripping hers tightly. I am not sure, he admitted. It has been 2 years since I left this place. The streets, they feel unfamiliar, almost too big. Anna smiled gently. The world is not too big for you. You have grown stronger than you know. And I will be with you, every step of the way. Robert took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. He wanted to step beyond the walls that had once confined him, to prove to himself that he could live again. Slowly, he moved toward the gate, Anna supporting him. Step by step, he made it outside. The sunlight touched his face, and the fresh air filled his lungs. For the first time in years, he felt free. As they walked slowly through the streets, people turned to look at Robert. They recognized him, the millionaire who had been paralyzed, now moving on his own. Whispers followed him, some filled with amazement, others with curiosity. But Robert did not care. He was not walking for fame or attention, he was walking for himself. A small group of children approached him, staring with wide eyes. Sir, are you walking? One of them asked, amazed. Robert smiled softly. Yes. I am. And every step is proof that we can overcome even the hardest challenges. Anna watched him with pride. His confidence had grown beyond the garden, beyond the mansion walls. He had faced his fears, and now he was showing the world what courage truly meant. After a short walk through the town, Robert and Anna returned to the mansion. Exhausted but happy, Robert sank into a chair in the garden. He looked at Anna with gratitude. "I never thought I would feel this way again," he said quietly. "Alive. Free. Full of hope. And it is all because of you." Anna shook her head gently. "It is not only me, sir. You worked hard. You believed in yourself. I only showed you the way. The strength was always inside you." Robert nodded slowly. "I know, but without your faith in me, I may never have found it. You gave me courage when I had none, and hope when I had forgotten it existed." That night, as the mansion grew quiet, Robert reflected on the journey he had traveled. The paralyzed man who had once been trapped in despair had now discovered life again. Every small victory, the steps in the garden, the first walk in town, the laughter that had returned to his heart, felt like a miracle. Yet, more than the physical recovery, Robert realized that the bond he shared with Anna was the most important change of all. She had entered his life like a gentle light, never demanding anything, never asking for wealth or fame. She had given him something far greater, belief in himself and the courage to live fully. The following morning, Robert woke early, his heart restless. He wanted to do something meaningful, something that would honor the journey he had taken and the person who had guided him. He called Anna to his side. "Anna, I have an idea," he said softly. "I want to help people, just as you helped me. I want to give hope to those who feel lost, to show them that strength exists even when they cannot see it." Anna's eyes lit up. "Sir, that is a wonderful idea. You can inspire others with your story. You can show them that change is possible, no matter how difficult life may seem." Robert smiled, feeling a sense of purpose he had never known before. "Yes. And I want you to be part of it. You taught me to believe. Now, we can teach others together." The weeks that followed were filled with activity. Robert and Anna worked together to create small programs to help people in the town. They visited the sick, encouraged the discouraged, and shared the story of Robert's journey. Each person they helped became a small victory, and each smile they received in return reinforced their belief in hope and courage. One evening, as they returned to the mansion, Robert looked at Anna with a quiet intensity. "Anna, you changed my life in ways I cannot explain. You gave me hope, courage, and happiness. I will never forget it, never." Anna smiled softly. "Sir, it is my joy to see you happy and alive. That is all the thanks I need." Robert took a deep breath. "But there is one thing I want to say. You are more than a friend to me. You are my light. And I will spend every day making sure your kindness is remembered and honored." Anna's cheeks flushed, and she looked down. "Sir, you have already done more than anyone could imagine. You have shown me that even the strongest people can be gentle, and the most broken hearts can heal." That night, Robert lay in bed, thinking about the journey he had taken. From despair to hope, from darkness to light, from paralysis to freedom, he had traveled a path that few could imagine. And through it all, Anna had been by his side, guiding, encouraging, and believing in him when he could not believe in himself. For Robert, the world was no longer frightening. Life was no longer hopeless. He had found courage, strength, and above all, a true friend who had changed his life forever. And he knew, deep in his heart, that their journey together was far from over. The mansion was quiet in the early morning, the soft golden sunlight spilling across the garden. Robert stood near the fountain, taking in the familiar view, but today it felt different. The world no longer seemed distant or intimidating. Every flower, every tree, every small ripple in the water reminded him of the journey he had traveled from despair to hope, from darkness to light. Anna arrived carrying a small basket with tea and bread. She noticed Robert standing quietly, a thoughtful look on his face. "Good morning, sir," she said softly. "Are you ready for today's practice?" Robert turned to her with a gentle smile. "Anna, I think today we do not need practice. Today feels like a day to celebrate." Anna's eyes widened slightly. "Celebrate? But we have been celebrating small victories every day. What makes today different?" Robert walked closer to her, his steps confident and steady. "Because today, I feel truly alive. I have learned to walk, to hope, to live again. And I want to share this feeling with the world, starting with you." Anna felt a warmth spread through her chest. She had seen Robert grow stronger, seen him conquer fear and doubt, but she had never imagined he would speak these words. "Sir, you already share your strength every day," she said softly. Robert shook his head gently. "No, Anna. You have given me more than strength. You gave me life when I thought all was lost. And I cannot imagine living without showing you how much you mean to me." Anna's heart beat quickly. She had grown close to Robert over the months, but she had never expected him to speak so openly about his feelings. She smiled, trying to hide her excitement. "Sir, you already gave me so much. Seeing you happy is enough for me." Robert took a deep breath and stepped closer. "Anna, I cannot thank you enough for everything you have done. But I want more than gratitude. I want to spend my life with you, sharing hope, joy, and life together. Will you stay by my side forever?" Anna's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of happiness. "Robert, all this time, I only wished to help you find hope. I never imagined I would hear these words. Yes. I will stay by your side. Always." A soft smile spread across Robert's face, and for the first time, he felt complete. The mansion, the garden, the streets, they were all part of a world he could embrace fully now, because he was no longer alone. Anna had been his guide, his friend, and now she would be his partner in life. Days passed, and their lives continued to change, but now with a new purpose. Robert focused on helping the town and the people who had once felt forgotten. Anna was always by his side, sharing every small joy and every small victory. Together, they inspired others, showing that hope and courage could overcome even the deepest despair. One afternoon, they visited a small school in the town. Robert stood before a group of children, telling them his story. 2 years ago, he said, I could not walk. I felt lost and hopeless. But someone believed in me, and I learned to believe in myself. No matter how hard life may seem, there is always a way forward. Courage, patience, and hope can change everything. The children listened with wide eyes, inspired by his words. Anna watched Robert speak, her heart swelling with pride. She had helped him find hope, but now he was spreading that hope to others. He was no longer the paralyzed millionaire trapped in sadness. He was a man full of life, courage, and purpose. As the sun began to set, Robert and Anna walked through the garden. The soft evening breeze brushed against their faces. Anna, Robert said softly, I used to think life was only about wealth and comfort. But now I know the true wealth is hope, love, and the people who stand by you. Anna smiled, taking his hand. Yes, sir. And you have learned to give that wealth to others. You have become more than you ever imagined. Robert looked around at the garden, the mansion, and the town beyond. And I could not have done it without you. You taught me that life is not about what we have, but about what we can give, and how we can help others find hope too. Anna squeezed his hand gently. And you taught me that kindness and belief can change even the darkest hearts. We helped each other, sir. Together. Robert smiled, feeling the warmth of her words and presence. Yes, together. And now, we begin a new life, full of hope, joy, and endless possibilities. That night, As the stars twinkled in the sky, Robert and Anna sat in the garden, holding hands. The mansion was no longer a place of loneliness, it was a home filled with laughter, love, and life. The paralyzed millionaire who had once felt lost and hopeless had walked into a future of freedom, guided by the heart of a poor girl who believed in him. And so, their story continued not just as a tale of healing, but as a story of hope, courage, and the power of belief. They had faced fear, overcome challenges, and discovered that the greatest strength comes not from wealth or power, but from kindness, trust, and love. Together, Robert and Anna looked toward the horizon, ready to embrace the life they had always dreamed of, a life full of hope, happiness, and the certainty that no matter what came next, they would face it side by side.